observation again, and I noticed none of the military had any ranks or honors on their jackets. So I decided to go back and look at other past inaugurations, and I noticed Bush, they had their ranks on their jackets. I looked at Obama. This isn't actually the inauguration, but it is a laying of the wreath. For some reason, the video wouldn't edit that I found for Obama's inauguration. But you can see here, they all have their military rank on their jackets. And the next one you'll see with Trump. Trump has his, and I want you to notice too that all three of them were able to touch the wreath and kind of push it back on the stand. But I want you to notice Biden's on what happens with his here, because his is different. Because remember, there's no military rank on any of the jackets anywhere. You can't find them. And you're going to see he doesn't walk down the steps. He walks out from the left if you're facing the tomb, which is weird. So you see there's no military ranking on any military officer there. They don't get to touch the wreath for some reason. They have to walk up to it and do this awkward, hey buddy, how you doing, kind of thing. And then they stand there, look at it, and then they turn around and walk back. So why? I also want to point out that they did the 21 gun salute with 2 guns actually at the cemetery when he arrived to the tomb of the unknown soldier. And then you got these 3 knuckleheads that showed up for some reason, which is weird too, and they showed up way before the family did, because you can see the family walking in. But I figured out why they did the 1:22 seconds of silence or awkwardness from the last video. It was because they were supposed to do the 21 gun salute after the president got sworn in. This is Trump's 21 gun salute directly after he got sworn in into office as president. Now you can go back and you can find videos where you can hear Obama's going off, you can hear Bush's going off, but Biden didn't do it for some reason, and the military didn't have their honors on or their ranks, and it kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? Now I want to read this about the 21 gun salute. It says, in accordance with the ceremonial standard operating procedure of the 3rd U.S. Infantry, i.e. the Old Guard, the various gun salutes are assigned as follows. Each round in a given salute is fired one at a time. The number of cannon used in a battery depends upon the intervals between each round fired. Now I want you to notice that Trump had 4 cannons firing. Now the military code says they want an odd number firing, so this isn't all that awkward with 4 of them firing. But I want you to look back at Biden's inauguration when they're laying the wreath and he's pulling up, that there's 3 cannons there. 2 are actually firing every 6 seconds, which will bring it to 2 minutes and 6 seconds by the time it's all done. Now, this is interesting here. A 3-gun battery firing 2 of its guns with 5-second intervals between rounds and 1 gun remaining at the ready in case of a misfire. Such a battery would be used at an armed forces full honors funeral or for a state arrival ceremony of a foreign dignitary at the Tomb of the Unknowns in Arlington National Cemetery. So they were firing 2 guns that is right on with this for a arrival of a foreign dignitary. What's up with that? I think you can figure that out now, can't you?
Thank you for your time. international repercussions beyond what I think any of you can fully understand. The impact, what happened on July the 6th had international repercussions beyond what I think any of you can fully understand. It had international repercussions beyond what I think any of you can fully understand. The impact.
His mask is way off. His mask is way off. For the first time in my lifetime, a mass gunman that goes into a school and kills people was made into a hero or a victim.
For years, Stu is one of them. I never ever thought I would talk about this on the air, but I feel compelled to tell you that seasons have changed again, and it is becoming more and more apparent, and you need to know what you're dealing with. We keep thinking that this is a political thing. It is not a political thing. I never thought I would share this, and take from it what you will. I mean, you can dismiss it. I never have. If you are a longtime listener of this program, you know that one of the reasons I left New York, besides the whole thing was going to burn itself down, was I had a medical condition. Part of it was brought on by no REM sleep for about 10 years. I actually found this to be very advantageous because I could get so much done because I just couldn't sleep. And for 10 years, I never had a dream. That's not good for your body. And so I was really kind of broken down when I moved here. I feel much, much better and having dreams again, etc., etc. However, during this period, I had what could be described as a dream. A dream. I do not believe it was, but you might just say, well, that's ridiculous, whatever. In this dream, I come to in this dream, and I am in a hallway of the White House, and I'm walking into a big room where there's a bunch of cubicles, and people look up, like, who's walking in? And there are people behind me, but I don't know who they are yet. I just know I'm being pushed forward by them. The people are at the cubicles, and they look over the cubicle first at me, and then their eyes dart to the people behind me and then dart right back down. And I realize everybody in the White House is terrified of who's ever behind me. I kind of glance back and I see these people that are in uniforms that I've never seen before. I have seen them since, but that will be for some other time. But I'd never seen these before. And we're being pushed through this place, and then we go into a room like the situation. Okay, big conference room, presidential. And it's me and about 3 other people, and we're sitting down at that conference room table, and we were told just to wait there. So we do, and we start talking about, I don't think this is going to be good. That's when 2 other people walk in, and they were clearly identified in the dream. However, I'm not sure anymore that image was anything other than helping me relate to what I'm about to tell you. So the one guy, when they open the door, these guys in the uniforms are in the hallway, and the one guy says, him, and him, take him out. And they get up and look at me, and I'm the only one sitting at the table still, and they go out, guards close the doors, and I'm now alone with these 2 people that are clearly in charge of something. They're not political. They're not in a political position. It didn't feel like. It wasn't the president or anything like that. And they are standing there, and then I hear 3 gunshots. And they said, yeah, that happened pretty quickly for them. However, you, we're going to get to know. And I said, okay. And they said, because you really have no idea who you're dealing with. And that's when one of them reached under like a Mission Impossible mask and ripped off his face. And he was Satan. He was a demon. Okay? Horrifying. I wake up. This was so vivid that I didn't tell anyone for months, and not even my wife. And it bothered me deeply, and I didn't know exactly what to do with that information. And about a year and a half went by, and it still was with me almost every day. Something you just don't forget. And I get a call from a guy who is, you would know his name, big spiritual leader. And he calls me, he says, can you come to my house? I need to talk to you. And I said, okay, sure, when? He said, as soon as possible. I said, this weekend? Okay, see ya. So I fly out. My wife and I stay overnight. We're going to see him the next morning. And that night, I have the exact same dream. And I wake up and I'm just in a panic. And we get in the car. I don't tell my wife. We get in the car and she said, this is going to be nice. And I said, yeah, except I'm having a hard time breathing right now. And she said, why? And I said, because I had that dream again last night. Remember, 10 years, no dreams, 2 dreams. The same one, and then the same one about a year and a half later. And she said, you should talk to him about that. And I said, no. If the Lord wants me to delve into it, he'll bring it up. No, I don't want to talk about it. And so we go into the guy's house. We sit down. He's sitting on a couch, and he sits down. He sits right on the edge of the couch, and he leans into me, and he says, sometimes the Lord talks to people. I said, and he said, and sometimes people like you, he'll speak in many different ways. Including dreams or visions. And I said, right? He said, and this is when he leaned in, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I said, and he said, do not dismiss that dream. Do not ever dismiss that. And I said, okay. He sat back and he said, that's it. That's all I wanted to say. That was it. I have made choices on this show based on that. You might find that ridiculous. Maybe you don't. I will never dismiss that. I'm sharing it with you today, 10 years later, because you must not dismiss what you're dealing with. We are not in a battle of politics. We're not. Politics and our whole culture has become evil. I started this hour talking about what this pedophilia stuff that is going around, and how nobody will even say anything. The designer of this uses the hashtag Moloch. That is the god of child sacrifice. This is what we're dealing with. Now, I never thought that people, when I wrote the book, Eye of Moloch, I never thought the average person who was involved in all of this stuff even believed in any of that. But they are being put into situations where some leaders, and I'm not talking politically in this particular case, I'm talking about that designer, I do believe they know what they're doing. And we are worshiping Moloch. We are worshiping Baal, and they are demanding our children as a sacrifice. You have to get to a point to where you are going to choose a side. There will be no one left on the benches, and if you think you can sit it out, you will end up on the wrong side. I urge you to know who you serve. This is
My biological mother was 7.5 months pregnant when she went to a Planned Parenthood and was advised, and they advised her to have a late-term saline abortion. This method of abortion burns the baby inside and out, blinding and suffocating the child, who is then born dead, usually within 24 hours. Instead of dying, after 18 hours of being burned in my mother's womb, I was delivered alive in an abortion clinic in Los Angeles on April the 6th, 1977. You can see a photo as well of my medical records. My medical records state born alive during saline abortion, 6 a.m. Victory. Thankfully, the abortionist was not at work yet. Had he been there, he would have ended my life with strangulation, suffocation, or leaving me there to die. Instead, a nurse called an ambulance, and I was rushed to a hospital. Doctors did not expect me to live. I did. I was later diagnosed with cerebral palsy, which was caused by a lack of oxygen to my brain while surviving an abortion. I was never supposed to hold up my head or walk. I do. And cerebral palsy, ladies and gentlemen, is a tremendous gift to me. I was eventually placed in foster care and later adopted. And hear me clearly, I forgive my biological mother. Within the first year after my birth, I was used as an expert witness in a case where an abortionist had been caught strangling a child to death after being born alive. Margaret Sanger, the founder of Planned Parenthood, said the following: "The most merciful thing that a large family does to one of its infant members is to kill it." Planned Parenthood is not ashamed of what they have done or continue to do, but we will have to give an account as a nation before God for our apathy and for the murder of over 50 million children in the womb. Every time we falter in courage as individuals and fail to confront this evil, I wonder how many lives have been lost.
Is that the Supreme Court in the United States, they all know this, that the election was already overturned. They know this. But the media is carrying on the lie, and this is the nails in their coffin, because what they're not doing is they're not telling the truth. They're not being a news channel, not one of them, because they all know, behind the scenes, the people at the top know the election was overturned because it was fraudulent. But the mainstream media is refusing to put it out. So it's having to be stripped out in little ways so that people go, hang on. The other thing, of course, is that for anybody who's done just a small amount of research, the White House in Washington has not been used since Trump left office as a headquarters. At the moment, that the management of America is being run out of Texas, from a Department of Defense point of view, or no, Department of Justice point of view. The DOJ is run out of Reno. Nevada, so it's not run out of the Pentagon. And also, thank God, Biden hasn't got the nuclear codes, because he'd probably lose them.
That's right. Well, the other thing, if you got, I tell people when we're live, I tell people wait till this show's over with, but go to Google and type in Trump, Texas, December 7th, 2020, gov. Real simple. That's how Derek Johnson's brain works. That'll pull up a Supreme Court docket. Donald John Trump and the state of Texas versus the state of Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and the state of Georgia. Why would he be filing with people? That right there would show you little things like that, little nuggets like that. And this happened, like we already said, it's already happened. December the 2020. So it tells you the state of Texas. It's like, why would Donald Trump use the state of Texas? There it is.
And the other thing that also ties totally into that I don't know if you're aware of, with the asset-backed currencies around the world that is the new quantum financial system, BRICS are obviously using it, plus another 30 or 40 countries. The interesting countries that have tagged on is the United Kingdom. That was interesting to me, that they've already applied. Germany, that was interesting, because obviously that will be the collapse of the euro. But the one that made me smile the most was Texas have applied to join the asset-backed currency. Now that tells you an awful lot.
Of the World Economic Forum, a very cordial welcome to the 2023 annual meeting. We are coming together under the cooperation in fragmentation. At the beginning of this year, we are confronted with unprecedented and multiple challenges. First, our global economy is undergoing deep transformation. The energy transition, the consequences of COVID, the reshaping of supply chains are all serving as catalytic forces for the economic transformation. And the hotspots of this geo-economic remodeling are high inflation, increasing interest rates, and growing national debt. This is particularly hurting low and middle income groups. It is exacerbating societal fragmentation. Second, the geopolitical system is also undergoing deep systemic transformation. Internationally, we are moving to what some people would call a messy patchwork of powers. There are superpowers, emerging powers, middle powers, regional powers, rogue states, and also large corporate and social media powers, all competing increasingly for power and influence. As a result, the trend is again moving towards increased fragmentation and confrontation. Thirdly, our generation has reached a turning point, confronted by truly existential problems: climate change, exploitation of nature, nuclear possible incidents, or even wars, extreme poverty, and viruses. They all can lead to an extinction of large parts of our global population. And we have seen how much dealing with those risks, such as COVID or global warming, have again fragmented populations. And finally, the fourth industrial revolution offers us tremendous, but at the same time, technologies as computing, quantum computing, blockchain, genetics, and so on, they also could create deep societal fragmentation. We have the ability to collaboratively build a more peaceful, resilient, inclusive, and sustainable world. But to do so, we need to overcome the most critical fragmentation. The most critical fragmentation is between those who take a constructive attitude and those who are of the World Economic Forum, a very cordial welcome